A black car came from nowhere, speeding too fast. Before anyone could shout, the car hit Ngozi hard. Bam! Her name was Amara. She was just 10 years old, no father, no real home, only a pregnant mother, an unborn baby, and the harsh streets of Enugu State. Every day was like a fight. They woke up hungry, searching for food, dodging bad people, and holding on to hope. But one sad afternoon, everything changed. Amara and her mother were walking near a busy road. Her mother was tired and slow because of the baby. Suddenly, a reckless car came speeding from nowhere. Bam! The car hit her mother and drove away. People screamed. Amara froze, her heart pounding. Her mother was on the ground, bleeding. Her mother's hand shook as she tried to breathe. "Mommy," Amara cried, kneeling beside her. "Please wake up." Someone called for a taxi and they rushed to the nearest hospital. At the hospital gate, the nurses came out with a stretcher and carried her mother inside. Amara tried to follow, but a nurse stopped her. "Where's the deposit money?" the woman asked. Amara didn't understand at first. "What money?" "For treatment," the nurse said sharply. "No deposit, no treatment." Amara's chest burned. She had no money, no family to call, nothing. She dropped to her knees and begged, "Please save my mommy, please." But the nurse only shook her head. They told Amara to take her mother away if she could not pay. Tears blinded her eyes. Was this how her mother would die, right in front of her? At that exact moment, a black SUG stopped at the hospital entrance. A tall man in a neat suit stepped out. He was Chief Obinna, the billionaire CEO of the hospital. Amara saw him and ran to him. She grabbed his leg and cried, "Please, sir, don't let my mommy die. I have no money." The man looked down at her for a moment. He said nothing. Then something in his face changed. He bent down slowly and asked, "Where is your mother?" Amara was not born poor. Her life started in happiness and love. She came into this world in Nsukka, surrounded by smiling neighbors. Their home was small, just a two-bedroom painted house. The paint peeled at the corners, but inside it was always warm and full of laughter. Her father, Ikenna, was a simple man but a good one. He worked in a small transport company as a driver. Every morning, he left home in a clean shirt, smelling of soap and powder. Before leaving, he always kissed Amara on the forehead and said, "Your name means grace, my daughter. Your life will be full of grace." Those words made her smile every single time. Her mother, Ngozi, was a full-time housewife. She was soft-spoken and kind. She cooked the best delicious rice and sang while sweeping the compound. In the evening, when Ikenna returned from work, the house came alive with joy. Sometimes he bought roasted corn, sometimes suya. On good days, he bought bread and Fanta. They would sit together, laughing and eating like the richest family in the world. One thing Amara loved most was the music nights. Her father would play old high life song from the radio while dancing with Ngozi in the small living room. Amara would clap and laugh until her stomach hurt. She never thought life could change, but life can change in a blink. One heavy evening, everything broke apart. It started like every other day. Ikenna left for work with a smile, promising, "I will bring suya tonight." Ngozi cooked rice and stew. Amara waited with excitement. But night came and Ikenna did not return. At first, Ngozi said it must be traffic. Then the phone call started, neighbors whispering, a man from Ikenna's office speaking in broken words. They had an accident, a terrible one. When a knock came at the door, Ngozi opened it and saw a young man, sweaty and nervous. "Madam, I'm sorry. Your husband, he didn't make it. Ngozi froze. Her lips trembled. What did you say? She asked the young man again, her voice cracking like glass. But the man only lowered his eyes. He didn't survive, madam. A trailer hit the car. It was bad. I am sorry. Her knees gave way. She fell to the ground, both hands covering her mouth to stop the scream that she wanted to tear out. Amara ran to her and held her tight, crying, Mommy, what happened? Where is Daddy? But no one answered. That night, the world became dark. There was nobody to bury. The accident was so bad that the police said his body was beyond recognition. All they returned to Ngozi was a burnt wallet, his ID card, and a single shoe. That was all. The funeral was short. Neighbors came saying, Take heart. God gives, God take. Amara sat quietly, holding her father's old wristwatch. It no longer ticked, but it was all she had left of him. She wished he could walk through the door and call her my Grace, but he never came. The days after the funeral were like a nightmare. The house that was once smell of food now smell of dust. The laughter was gone. At night, Ngozi sat in silence, staring at nothing. Amara often heard her mother whispering prayers with tears. Bills started piling up. The landlord came, his voice no longer kind. The transport company paid debt benefit, but most of it went to funeral costs, debt and hospital bill. What remained was so little, it could only buy food for a week. Amara stopped going to school. Her uniform hung in the corner, neat but useless. One evening, she asked softly, Mommy, when will I go back to school? Ngozi forced a smile. Soon, my child. But her eyes told the truth. There was no money, not for school, not even for food sometimes. Ngozi's belly grew bigger every day. She was tired, always tired. But she tried to be strong for Amara. God will help us, she said. The trouble started with a loud noise. It was the landlord. He stood at the door, arms folded, face hard. Madam Ngozi, he said, it's been 3 months. I can't wait anymore. You must leave my house. Ngozi knelt down, her voice shaking. Please, sir, I just need more time. I will pay you. The man shook his head. Business is business. By weekend, I want you out. When he left, Ngozi sat on the floor and cried. Amara sat beside her, holding her arms. Mommy, what will we do? But Ngozi had no answer. She was 8 months pregnant. She could barely walk without pain, let alone find money for rent. By Saturday, the landlord came with 2 young men. They carried their things outside, clothes, pots, plate, a mattress that was already torn. Ngozi begged again, but the man didn't listen. If you don't leave, I will throw everything in the gutter, he said. So they left. Amara held her mother's hand as they walked away from the house that has once been full of laughter. They walked under the hot sun, searching for a place to sleep. They ended up under a big tree near the market. That became their new home. Life on the street was hard. They had no bed, no kitchen, nothing. At night, the cold wind made Amara shiver. Mosquito bites them everywhere. In the morning, they searched for food in dustbin or waited for kind strangers. Sometimes, they eat nothing at all. Ngozi tried to keep strong, but her body was weak. The baby kicked all the time, and she had sharp pains. Mommy, will the baby come soon? Amara asked one night. Ngozi smiled faintly. Yes, my child, very soon. Amara didn't like the way her mother's face looked. Too pale, too tired. She wished her father was alive. He would have found a way to fix everything. The day started like any other. Amara and her mother woke up under the big tree near the market. The ground was hard and the night has been cold, but at least they were together. Ngozi sat slowly, holding her big stomach. Her face was pale and sweat covered her forehead. "Mommy, are you okay?" Amara asked. Ngozi nodded weakly. "I am fine, my child." They decided to walk to a nearby street to look for leftover food. Amara held her mother's hand tightly. Cars and bikes speed past them. People were busy, rushing to work, not even noticing the small girl and her tired mother walking by. Then it happened. A loud sound. A black car came from nowhere, speeding too fast. Before anyone could shout, the car hit Ngozi hard. Bam! Her body fell to the ground. The car didn't stop. It drove away like nothing happened. "Mommy!" Amara screamed. She ran to her mother. There was blood on the road. Ngozi's eyes were half open. People gathered. Some shook their heads. Others whispered. But no one helped. Finally, a man with a keke stopped and said, "Let's take her to the hospital." Amara climbed into the keke with her mother on her lap. Her tears soaked her mother's wrapper. "Please, God, don't take her, please." They rushed the hospital quickly. Nurses came out and carried Ngozi on the stretcher. Amara ran after them, crying. But at the door, a nurse blocked her. "Where is the deposit?" the nurse asked. Amara blinked, confused. "What?" "The money for treatment," the nurse said sharply. "No deposit, no treatment." Amara's heart sank. She said nothing. No money, no family, nothing. She fell to her knees crying. "Please help my mommy. She is dying, please." But the nurse shook her head. "Take her somewhere else." Amara sat on the cold hospital floor, crying so hard her chest hurt. "Please, someone help my mommy," she said. But people walked past as if she was invisible. Inside, her mother was laying on the stretcher, barely breathing. Time was running out. Then, a black SUV stopped at the hospital entrance. A tall man stepped out. His white shirt was neat, his shoes shiny. He looked important. The kind of man who never had to worry about food or rent. This was Chief Obinna, the billionaire CEO of the hospital. Amara saw him and something inside told her to try one last time. She ran to him, her knees hitting the floor as she grabbed his leg. "Please, sir, please don't let my mommy die. I have no money." Her voice broke into sob. Chief Obinna froze. He looked down at the small girl, clinging to his legs. Her face was wet with tears, her dress dirty, her hands trembling. For a moment, he said nothing. Then he bent down slowly and asked, "Where is your mother?" Amara pointed towards the emergency room. "Inside." "Please, sir." They said no money, no treatment. The man's eyes hardened. He turned to the nurse at the door. "Is this true?" The nurse stammered, "Sir, hospital policy." But before she could finish, his voice thundered, "Forget the policy. Take that woman to surgery now." The nurses jumped to obey. Two of them rushed in and wheeled Ngozi towards the theater. Amara stood frozen, her hands covering her mouth. Was this real? Was someone finally helping? Chief Obinna knelt and touched Amara's shoulder. "Don't cry anymore. Your mother will be fine," he said gently. But his eyes were dark with thought. "What happened to you, little one?" Amara told him everything in broken sentences about her father's death, the eviction, the street, and now this accident. The man listened silently, his jaw tight. In that moment, something changed in his heart. He knew this child's life could not end in pain. He decided to do something big, something that would change both their lives forever. The surgery began immediately. Doctors and nurses rushed around, machine beeps. Amara sat outside the theater, her small hands clenched together, whispering prayers. "Please, God, don't take my mommy. please," she repeated over and over. Chief Obinna stayed near her. He didn't leave. Even when his assistant reminded him about an important meeting, he looked down at the little girl who had knelt before him, and something inside him felt heavy. This child has suffered too much. After what felt like hours, the doors opened. A doctor came out, smiling softly. "She made it. Both mother and baby are safe." Amara jumped up, tears streaming down her face. "Mommy is alive," the doctor nodded. "Yes, she will need time to recover, but she is safe." Amara fell to the floor, thanking God. Then she turned to Chief Obinna and grabbed his hand. "Thank you, sir. Thank you. You saved my mommy." Her voice shook with joy. Chief Obinna bent down and wiped her tears gently. "You are a brave girl, Amara. But listen to me," he said in a calm voice. "Your life cannot continue like this. From today, things will change." Amara looked at him, confused. "What do you mean, sir?" He smiled softly. "You will not sleep on the street again. You will not beg for food. From now on, you and your mother will have a home. You will go back to school, and I'll take care of everything." Amara's eyes widened. She could not believe her eyes. "Sir, are you serious?" He nodded. "Yes, my child. No more suffering. That is my promise." At that moment, the nurse came out and said, "You can see your mother now." Amara ran into the room. Her mother lay on the bed, weak but alive. A tiny baby wrapped in a white cloth beside her. Tears filled Amara's eyes as she touched her mother's hand. "Mommy, you made it," Ngozi whispered. "God sent an angel to us." She didn't know how true those words were, because Chief Obinna was about to change their life forever. Amara sat by her mother's bedside, holding the tiny baby. Her heart was full of joy and relief. The worst was over, or so she thought. Chief Obinna entered the room quietly. He smiled at Amara and then looked at Ngozi. "How are you feeling?" he asked softly. Ngozi tried to sit up, but he stopped her. "Don't stress yourself. You need rest." She looked at him curiously. "Sir, thank you. I don't know how to repay you." Chief Obinna shook his head. "You owe me nothing, but I have something important to tell both of you." Amara looked up, her big eyes full of questions. The man sighed and sat down. "Ngozi," he began slowly, "I knew your husband, Ikenna." Ngozi froze. "You knew him?" Chief Obinna nodded. "Yes, he worked for a company I once partnered with. He saved my life years ago during a road accident. He was the reason I am alive today. I promised myself that if I ever have a chance to repay him, I would." Ngozi covered her mouth in shock. Tears filled her eyes. "My husband never told me that." Chief Obinna smiled sadly. "He was a humble man. He never wanted recognition. When I heard about his death, I tried to reach his family, but no one told me where you were. I thought I had lost the chance until today." Amara listened, her little heart swelling with pride. Her father had saved a man's life. Chief Obinna continues. "From now on, you are no longer alone. I will give you a house. Amara will return to school immediately, and your new baby will have everything needed." Ngozi burst into tears. "God bless you, sir. Ikenna will be smiling in heaven." Amara hugged Chief Obinna tightly. "Thank you, sir. Thank you." For the first time in months, Amara felt hope. Real hope. They would no longer sleep under trees. They would no longer beg for food. Life would be different. As she held her baby brother and looked at her mother's smiling face, Amara whispered, "Daddy, your grace is still here." And indeed it was. If you enjoyed this lovely story, Please consider subscribing, share your thoughts with us in the comment section, and share this video to as many persons as possible. Do not forget to give this video a big thumbs up until I come your way with an interesting video by tomorrow. Remain blessed. Thank you so much, and see you in my next one.